In 1947, obviously, during the partition, everything was lost. The entire family went to rags to a point. There was food scarcity in the house. Today, we are comfortably at 15,000 crores.
Out of the 175 to 200 million tons of coal that is imported, your company imports 15 million tons.
Yeah.
And your market share.
Market share. The problem there was that there was no differentiation between what was the wealth of the business and what was the wealth of the family.
Because of this, does the family become more risk-taking? What's the worst that can happen?
For the family's portfolio, we have an aggressive sort of portfolio.
Let's say the CEO of the business says that, oh, I've seen this kid grow up and now he'll tell me what to do, right?
The day you land in your city, don't go to your house from the airport. Go to the office is a very big signal to everybody in the organization that this guy is serious. This guy means business.
I'm told you have a 100 crore rupee car collection. Yeah.
So the classic Ferrari setup, the classic Ferrari color. So this is as Ferrari as it gets. This is again one of the last naturally aspirated Lamborghini Huracan. So that Bentley is in a very special shade of rose gold.
Yeah.
That one was the first dual tone painted Maybach in the country.
You know, Tapan, I was like, when I was reading of you about your family background, I think one thing that struck out is, in a very different way, a similar journey, because my family, my grandparents left what is now Pakistan to come to India during partition. But your family like made it really big after they moved here. What actually went behind this whole story? How did such a large coal empire get created?
So just to give you a perspective, my grandfather belonged to a very rich family. We are from Haryana. So here, our extended family still has the 100-room Haveli in Rohtak.
Oh.
And the family had a very big business in India, which is now Pakistan. So in 1947, obviously, during the partition, everything was lost. And also the family must have made some poor choices post that. So the entire wealth per se was lost. The entire family went to rags to a point wherein there was food scarcity in the house.
Oh, really?
So my Tauji, which is the elder brother of my father, he must have been a 12, 13-year-old boy. He migrated to Calcutta. He used to ride rickshaws there, and then he set up a grocery store. My grandfather migrated to Calcutta to help him with the grocery store, but they got cheated in the grocery store, so that miserably failed. And then my uncle moved to Indore. So he became a sort of broker for these trucks. So he used to broker these trucks for transport. And eventually he started his own transport company. And then my father and the other brothers at various ages joined the business. My father joined the business when he must have been about 13 years of age. And these guys eventually, because of the transport business, they got into the trading of Indian coal. So that is how everything started, and step by step, the brothers had enough businesses, so they parted ways, and my father started importing coal into India in the end of 90s. And yeah, so this is where we are today.
I'm actually curious, Tapan, ki isme, how does risk-taking play out? Like, because of this, does the family become more risk-taking? Ki what's the worst that can happen? We've seen tough times. Or do they become like, ki now that we have made it this big, we should not lose it? Like, how does that play out?
So to be very honest, I think the risk appetite which my father has is substantially more than the risk appetite I have. Because obviously I have a legacy, I have a platform. So there is a certain degree of the protector's mindset which comes in. Not to say that I don't take risks, but But yes, there is still a substantial difference between the risk appetite of my father and me.
And we see this across when we talk to, like, I actually, and we don't name names, but let's say I recently heard Parth Jindal talk about how his dad pushes him to take much more risk, and he's like, we shouldn't do it. Is this one of the reasons why there's this whole set of individuals who are now focusing more on running family offices as opposed to running businesses? Because this is Harsh Goenka tweet which went viral that like the next generation is not creating new businesses and so on.
So I'll give you a couple of reasons behind this. Number one, when my father's generation was growing up, India was at a point wherein if you were extremely diligent and if you were willing to work extremely hard, there was a high probability that you would succeed, right? So my father's generation, between the family, they created, nurtured multiple businesses, and all those businesses flourished. But that's not the same for today. Today, you have to focus on one thing. You have to master that. You have to be an absolute expert for you to succeed.
Sure.
So that is one thing that has changed in a sense. Coming to, yes, it's the truth that quite a lot of family businesses, the second, third generations of family businesses have really started focusing on building family offices. And that's great from a risk management perspective. But if you only start focusing on a family office without actually running an active business, without being an entrepreneur yourself, for me, that doesn't really work. So for example, we've also created a substantial family office in the last 10 years, and that still represents about 10% of our wealth, not more than that. So although the family office will continue to grow, but we don't expect it to grow beyond 10% of our wealth. So the idea here is that most of our wealth still continues to remain in the business or in businesses, and we need to continue to be entrepreneurs, right?
Yeah, there are many threads to pull from what you just said, but like if I were to zoom out and look at, let's say, this whole asset portfolio that the family has created, there is the dominant coal business.
Yes.
There is real estate, there is the family office. So if you were to like drop 100% pie, how would you break up the quantum of wealth in each one of these buckets?
So about 10% is the family
financial assets.
Yes. Then I would say about 20% today, based on the market valuation, would be the real estate business. And then would be the coal business. 70% of the wealth continues to remain in the coal business.
In the coal business. And, coal is like, from outside in at least, seems like a really, really tough business to be in. Like, I know India is still thermally powered for most part, and therefore coal plays a big role there. How is that part of the world evolving? We hear about all of this stuff about energy transition, coal licenses on mining are very hard to get. Seems like a very incredibly hard business to run.
So I'll just give you a perspective of what the coal business is all about and what is it that we exactly do.
Sure.
So Coal India Limited recently accomplished this milestone wherein they have reached a production of 1 billion tons of coal domestically in India. India is importing about 175 million to 200 million tons of coal.
Okay.
So the imported coal mix in the overall coal use is limited. If I may say, it is only being used as a sweetener. It's nothing very important in the overall landscape of coal consumption.
So we become more self-reliant as a country because of that.
So the imports were never very large.
Sure.
The incremental consumption has been coming in from the domestic production. I think that would be safe to assume. When we say the word coal or the trading of coal, we need to understand that 40% of the cost of coal at your plant is logistics. When we import coal into India, just to give you a perspective, if within India, you have to move coal from point X to point Y, which is 500 kilometers away, the freight or the logistics cost is going to be much higher as compared to what I pay to get it from Indonesia.
To India.
Yeah,
Wow.
because sea is the cheapest mode of transport.
Yeah.
So we as a company have a very deep penetration into the number of ports that we operate. We operate across 17 ports in the country. And when we get our stockpiles to these 17 ports, the inland logistics to the plant becomes extremely small. So the overall cost of logistics, based on the quality of coal that they get, based on the location of their plants, it really works. So Modi ji has committed in the last summit that India is going to become carbon neutral by 2070. That's 45 years from now. For me, the next 25 years, at least for all the countries in Southeast Asia, which are developing countries, their economies, their energy complex is going to thrive on coal. Yes, the overall energy mix is rapidly changing. We ourselves have diversified into wind power production, solar power production. But having said that, for the next 25 years, coal is here to stay. Bringing in the environmental context here, we as a company, despite of importing 15 million tons of coal, we as a company have zero consumption of coal. So
before that, out of the 175 to 200 million tons of coal that is imported, your company imports 15 million tons.
Yeah. So just to sort of break that up, out of the 175 to 200 million tons that gets imported, the larger power plants consume the most of it. So the actual market size for our company is nothing more than, let's say, about 100 million tons.
And you have 15% market share.
15% market share.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And sorry, to go back to the earlier point that you were making, that about the energy transition, how within the company also there are like other sources of energy that
Exactly. So we as a company have zero consumption of coal ourselves.
Okay.
We are facilitators who, starting from long-term contracts with mine owners in Indonesia, South Africa, and other countries, do the complete logistics of coal from Indonesia to India. So we have to charter complete ships. It's not a containerized product, it's a dry bulk product. So we charter full ships, which then come to various ports in India. The logistics of that is done, the stockpiles are maintained, and if required, the further logistics is done. So we are more of a service provider with zero consumption in-house. And yes, we have started diversifying into solar power production, into wind power production. So those are the things that we are.
No, I think, India is a growing economy and we need to be energy sufficient, right? And while there are the COP targets and there are environmental goals, etc., I think what you are doing, for example, is to get energy to the country, I think is a real service, honestly, because no economy can grow. And, we can talk all about environmental, but at the end of the day, lives of our countrymen and women depend on the energy that we get. So it's really fascinating. I think the question I have then is that there is this legacy business. You've studied engineering. You've studied at ISB. There must be this tendency to think about like, how do we professionalize this? How do we make it less dependent on yourself? So how are you thinking about the company itself? Cultural perspective, talent, and so on.
So when I joined the business back in 2016, that is when I also started pursuing my family business management program at the Indian School of Business. There were a lot of concepts and ideas that I was learning there. Then I convinced my father and he happily agreed. So we appointed a CEO coach for my father. He was an extremely acclaimed personality.
So you convinced your dad to get a coach?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
And he's always the flag bearer of change. So he very happily agreed. And then we had a CEO coach on board, apart from all the knowledge that I was gaining at ISB. So at that time, if I remember, we must have been at a top line of about 6,500 crores.
Okay.
Within our coal business.
Okay.
So we set up a lot of transformational plans for the company. So we started at that time, we had a very nascent HR department. We established a very strong HR department with a culture of performance management in the company.
Okay.
We started recruiting the top talent which was available in the country.
Mm-hmm.
We raised our pay scales by multifold. So we were extremely happy doing that. We appointed independent consultants to do a process audit, and then we established standard operating procedures in the company. So during that entire transformation exercise, I think that really changed the company as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
So during the coaching exercise, I think we had laid out a vision wherein we wanted to reach a top line of 10,000 crores in a certain time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about 3 years later, we were already at 12,000 crores, and today we are comfortably at 15,000 crore rupee top line.
Amazing. And all of these changes come with the human impact of that, right? Like the company has been run by, let's say, your dad.
Yeah.
You come in.
Yeah.
The leadership within the company has worked in a certain way.
Yeah.
And you're causing this change that is happening, which is uncomfortable. How did that, like, the team take to it?
So the change management process was difficult.
Mm-hmm.
The positive side of it was that my father himself, at the helm of the company, was the flag bearer of change, and his communication was extremely direct. His communication was extremely clear to everybody that this is something that needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
In that entire process, since we are a 50-year-old company, last year we celebrated our 50th anniversary. We had a lot of people who were with the company since a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
There were challenges in adopting to technology. There were challenges in adopting to new procedures.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people happily, with a lot of respect, retired from the company. So that change had become mandatory.
Sure.
A lot of new energetic blood came into the company.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of our existing people were trained, they were upgraded. So within that entire exercise, within that entire determination and pain that the organization went through for about a period of 5 years, but yes, it was something that had to be done, and it was done.
Yeah, I think a lot of family businesses have lots to learn from this experience. Because the first instinct is that, it's going to be hard. And one of the things we are seeing as a result of it is monetization of family businesses, right? Because the question is really that, do I want to run that hard process myself?
True.
Or would rather some multinational company do it? True. And the way you've done it is actually, you've done it gradually, you've done it in a structured way, which takes into account the human impact, but as well as like focuses on the company itself. That's 70% of your work. The 20% now is a real estate business which you started.
So for me, real estate is like the maximum amount of my time now.
Okay.
Because it stems from multiple things. From a family standpoint, as I earlier mentioned, we are already at a massive market share in an extremely complex, competitive business. So although the company continues to raise its market share every year, but that's incremental. The share at which we can the rate at which we can grow is incremental in nature. It's not exponential in nature. Thus, it became extremely important for the family to diversify, because this business has continued to be with us for the last 50 years, and we are extremely confident that for the next 25 years, we will continue to do this. That's a period of 75 years. So which business do we now start building that will remain with the family for the next 100 years at least?
But when you thought about this business, like how have you thought about real estate as being commercial? Agarwal 1, which I'm told is like one of the most premium commercial properties in the city. Do you also think about residential, and how do you figure out from a business decisioning perspective which area to get into?
So I'll explain it to you from a strategy point of view, from a positioning standpoint as a real estate company, and we've invested more than 1,000 crores in this business.
Okay.
The valuation is much more.
Sure.
But the actual cash outflow from the family in terms of the investment has been north of 1,000 crores.
Okay.
With that amount of money in check, I could have gone to Mumbai, I could have gone to Delhi, I could have gone to any city in India, and we could have built a scalable business with high sales velocity, with a large gross market value of the overall portfolio and probably higher margins also. But where we would have failed would have been, or probably would have found it extremely difficult, would have been in terms of creating a brand. Because we would have been at best a small to a medium-sized fish in an extremely large ocean. In Indore, when we concentrated this entire investment in the city, we are sort of a fairly large fish in a pond that is not as big. So Indore gives me a canvas which is completely blank, and I am able to create a brand here, a brand which can make an impact. So given Indore and its own challenges, there is no TDR, the FSI is limited, the land prices are extremely high, but we are able to make a big dent with our business. So we have to be persistent. We sort of have to be consistent. In the next 3 years, we are targeting to launch projects with a gross market value of 5,000 crore rupees. It's a clearly laid out plan.
Nice. We spoken about this earlier, but the third element of what you oversee is the financial portfolio. Now you have 2 businesses which are taking up a lot of your time. What is the philosophy behind how you run the financial side?
So I'll just like to zoom out a little. The entire thought process behind creating a substantial family office was from a risk management point of view.
Sure.
So during my early days, it's been 9 years since I have been in the business now. And during my early days in the business, I saw a lot of family businesses crashing. And they crashed miserably. So there was the problem there was that there was no differentiation between what was the business, what was the wealth of the business and what was the wealth of the family.
Makes sense.
And thus, not only the families crashed, their promoters crashed, and the entire family and their livelihood crashed with that. So we are in a very risky business. The coal business is an extremely high risk business, and thus it became very important for us to segregate the families well.
I want to first understand the philosophy behind like the risk appetite. How do you think about allocations across asset classes, and then maybe the governance of it? How is it actually run?
So there are 2 kinds of investments that we do, 2 structures under which we hold them. So first is the treasury portfolio of the companies itself, because the company themselves need to have some sort of a backup fund.
That's right.
So the companies have a treasury portfolio.
That's right.
And then the families have their own portfolio.
Makes sense.
The company's portfolio is relatively less risk. So that is 70 to 80% debt, bonds oriented, only about 20 to 30% equity oriented, because at a fundamental level, the company is already taking a lot of risk, and this fund is used as a backup fund for the company.
Makes sense.
For the family's portfolio, we have a relatively aggressive sort of portfolio. So about 25% would be in the debt category. We have about 5% in gold. 20% is in AIFs, unlisted space, private equity, and the remaining is pure listed equity. Out of that remaining portfolio also, we have certain funds which are directly tracking the index.
Got it.
So that is how the sort of asset allocation is.
And while we've spoken about it earlier, thing that we commonly hear among our clients who run family businesses is when the next generation enters the business, there's a little bit of sense of feeling lost. Where to begin from, right? There is this big empire which is going. I've just returned from a post-graduation. What do I do? Where do I go? Whom do I talk to? So what's like, is there like in your mind now with your experience, a sort of a roadmap for somebody who's now stepping in into the family business?
So I think the day you land in your city, don't go to your house from the airport. Go to the office. that in itself is a very big signal to everybody in the organization that this guy is serious. This guy means business. As soon as you enter the office, shrug off everything that you know. Don't carry the baggage of your family name. Don't carry the baggage of the position that you have in the family. And start from the A, B, C, D of that organization. So in the initial days, at least for 6 months, spend time in various departments in a sort of medium position, learning from all the heads of the departments so that you have a complete understanding of how the processes work in that business. Once you've done that, it will be time to step up. So every business typically would have multiple profit centers. They could be branch offices, they could be different products, they could be different commodities, they could be different manufacturing units. You pick up one thing, one unit, one profit center within that family business, and convince your family that I am now going to lead this one unit, one profit center within this overall structure, and start championing that. So you have now 100% ownership of that. That's one thing. And secondly, now is the time when the organization is comfortable with you, when you have understood their processes as is, it's now also time to become the champion of change. Bring in new ideas, bring in new policies, bring in technology, bring in a strong governance system. So yeah, that according to me would be a step-by-step roadmap.
I think it's a fantastic roadmap. Like, I think for a lot of people who are completely confused on where to begin, I think this sets it out very clearly. It also addresses the issue of credibility, right? Which, like, somebody coming in, yaar, kal ka ladka, you know, I've seen, like, I've had these conversations where, let's say, the CEO of the business says that, who's a professional, says that, oh, I've seen this kid grow up and now he'll tell me what to do, right? So I think this is a sort of roadmap to establishing the credibility of that individual as well. I want to switch to another very fascinating part of your personality. What we see behind us, the cars. I'm told you have 100 crore rupee car collection.
Honestly, I have not tallied it, but I think people who look at it on Instagram must have done that total.
What is the spread of this collection? How many cars are there? What kind of cars are there?
So I have a mix of luxury cars. So we have a Rolls-Royce Ghost extended wheelbase, which was a gift to my father. Then we have a Bentley Bentayga, again an extended wheelbase. We have a Bentley Flying Spur. We have Maybach, and that was the country's first Maybach that I had actually custom painted in a dual tone color. In terms of supercars and sports cars, I have a Ferrari 488 GTB. I have a Lamborghini Huracan Evo, which is the last naturally aspirated engine. So that's like a prized possession. Then I have a AMG SLC 43. I picked up the country's last Jaguar F-Type. Then I have the world's best off-roader, which is the Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. I have a Range Rover Velar. I have a Lexus ES.
Now, let's talk about, like, let's say this Rolls-Royce Ghost, right? When you think about the cost of acquiring it, the cost of maintaining it, is there like that thought process that happens that, okay, like, what are the economics around it?
So I'll give you a perspective. When I got my Bentley Flying Spur, it's a 12-year-old car now. We got it in the year 2013. Acquiring a Bentley Flying Spur at that time costed me about 3 crore rupees on road Indore.
Okay.
Today, if you were to buy a Bentley Flying Spur, although the model has changed, that car is not going to cost you anything less than 8 crore rupees. Both the cars are Bentley Flying Spurs, and my car has a superior engine. So does the depreciation in cars which are at that level, it's not depreciating at the same rate as an Innova would, right?
Absolutely. And, you know, I think there's a scarcity premium clearly that builds up over time.
Absolutely.
What does it take to maintain these kind of vehicles?
So for me, I think the biggest cost of maintaining an exotic car or a supercar is the insurance. So just to give you a perspective, the insurance on my Lamborghini would cost about 6-7 lakh rupees per annum. Then you have one mandatory service, which would cost about 3.5 lakh rupees per annum. Apart from that, in a supercar, you would end up using 1 or 2 tires because of our road conditions. So that's about another 1 lakh rupees. If you choose to extend the warranty of the car beyond its warranty period, that would be about another 2 to 3 lakh rupees on an annualized basis.
Yeah, so it's a reasonable investment. And multiply that with the number of cars you have, it's something meaningful, right? Now I'm going to again switch gears. Is this public persona that is there, which is the Car Crusader Instagram account, right? How do you decide to put yourself out? Because in India, like most wealthy individuals don't talk so openly about what they own.
So I think Car Crusader originated from 2 core concepts. The first concept being that I'm a second generation entrepreneur.
Yeah.
How does somebody come out of the shadows of their father?
Makes sense.
How do I ensure that people know that I have an identity which is purely mine beyond the legacy? So to do that, to ensure that you have a personal brand, you have to do something which is extremely authentic. And cars come naturally to me. That is who I am. And secondly, I was wanting to find ways to sort of take my passion ahead. How am I able to tell the world about my passion? How am I able to, connect people who are like-minded? And plus, there is a positive feeling around these cars, and that positivity is something that I'm trying to spread through my thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Morgan Housel has this book, I think Psychology of Money.
Yeah, I've read it, yes.
Where I think he talks about this. When you see somebody with a great car, a lot of people imagine themselves in that and think about what it takes to get there. And in a sense, it's that sense of aspiration also around it, which I think is very fascinating. Before we started rolling, you were telling me about how these miniatures are something that you're also very passionate about. And I'm told there's one unboxing that you didn't do for a decade. What's the story behind that? And then we'll chat more about these miniatures.
So for me, the acquisition of any miniature is not a transactional process. It is an extremely emotional process. So today also I have a lot of cars in my collection which I have not unboxed for, let's say, for the past 13, 14 years. So I buy those scale models, I keep them with them, and I sort of have a target or a vision, or I say that there will be a time in my life wherein I'll be at a particular stage, and that is the day or that is the time when I'm going to unbox this car. So it's very emotional.
I think in a lot of what you said, the feeling of delayed gratification comes out very clearly, and I think you sort of relish that as opposed to just throwing things open immediately. The other part of the family's work has been around philanthropy, especially in central India and Madhya Pradesh. What have been some of the initiatives? Because I'm told you've deployed over 100 crores of capital in that. That's a significant investment if you think of it that way. What's the process? How do you select? How do you identify causes to back?
So Balaji Seva Vinod Agarwal Foundation, which is the primary foundation, it is primarily working in the fields of hunger alleviation. We are working a lot with healthcare. We are working with rural infrastructural development, and we are working with education. So just to give you a perspective, we have constructed, built and donated one of the largest blood banks and diagnostic centers to the Red Cross Society of Indore. Then we have donated one more fantastic medical center right in the center of Indore, which is being operated by this great organization called Madhav Srishti. The beauty of that medical center is not only the facility, but the best of the doctors in the city go to Madhav Srishti for a stipulated amount of time, and they give their services and consultation free of cost. Then we have partnered with Shankara Netralaya for their facility in Indore. Sala Sarji is our pilgrimage in Rajasthan. We have done a lot of rural infrastructural development there. We have this veterinary hospital in Sala Sarji, wherein we have a specialized ambulance. We have an ICU for all sorts of animals. We have their diagnostic facility and post-surgery care facility, and so on. Yeah.
Taman, when I think about what, let's say, Deserve will be maybe 10 years later, you think about the assets under management, the number of wealth creators you're serving, market capitalization, etc. How does the Agarwal group or you think about where you will be a decade later? What are the objectives that you've set aside for yourself?
So a decade later, we are 100% going to be one of the largest real estate companies in the country. We are going to continue to remain at a dominant position in the entire coal business. I think the foundation would be at a very, very meaningful level, wherein the impact that it is sort of creating within MP and outside in the overall country. So that impact would be at a substantial level. My elder sister has recently started working with us. My younger sister is also going to start working with us. My wife is working for the foundation. My dad is championing a big part of the coal business. I'm involved in a certain part of the coal business, and I'm championing the entire real estate business. So there is a so-called vision for the family to collectively work towards the name of the family, towards what we can contribute towards the society, not in terms of the philanthropy, but it also in terms of the taxes. So yeah, it's the entire sort of ecosystem that we envision ourselves to be in the next 10 years.
Yeah, it's fascinating. I think you didn't mention cars, but maybe there is a car ambition in there somewhere.
So the car ambition is not an ambition which lies in the future. I think it's a very conscious, be in the present sort of an ambition.
Yeah.
I don't keep thinking about ye lena. I am extremely happy and satisfied with the ability to own a car and drive it today, and they will continue to happen because that's a part of it.
And maybe on this car thing, is there like one car out of your collection that you're most passionate about, or the one that you would say that this always has to be a part of the collection?
So as I was trying to mention earlier, my Lamborghini Huracan has one of the last naturally aspirated engines in the world. And that was the supercar engine when I was growing up as a child in the 90s. Today, the engines have become all hybrid and it's all electric. That one car I really, really cherish driving, and it's like a massive stress buster. So that is something which I will never.
Tapan, this has been fascinating. I think I have rarely come across somebody who's spoken as openly, as candidly as you have. I hope more people are as open, because then the common learning grows. Thank you so much for
Thank you very much.
Really enjoying this one.
For doing this.
Thanks, Tapan. Thank you so much. Thanks.